Hey, so welcome back. This was so fun to make. This remix was so much fun to make, and it was so incredibly difficult to make. But I had a lot of fun. It was so nice to be working on this track and to kind of experiment with the different ways I could use the sample. It was a little difficult at first just with how crazy the song is, but I found a few creative uses for the different samples, and I'd like to show you how I did it. Kind of the star of the show where I first started off with the sample is this track over here. I had the original piano sound over here like this. I record the sound of that passage going through all these different presets, and I record it onto a blank audio track as take lane. So if I just do it on a new track real quick here, I'm going to set it to track 45. And this is why you should name your tracks, but the track numbers are handy. I'm going to hit record while this blank track is armed. Up shaper box, switch. Switch. If you hold up your take lanes, you can see all those different recordings here. And then using the brush or the pencil, you can just kind of pick and choose what section you want from like what recording, right? This is essentially what I did, just on a larger scale with more take lanes and more options. By resampling your audio like this, by using Shaperbox, you come up with so many different ideas. You can use this concept to just generate so many infinite amount of textures. You can use your own stock effects in whatever DAW, and then manipulate those parameters using macro controls as well. I straight up just used the original drum sound through the drum bus. Yeah, Ableton drum bus is just so beefy. It's so good. I also use the sample using the vocals like this.
I've been waiting for someone or something to take me away.
I took the vocal, I just took the way part of it. I took out the W and just got it the A part. You add some effects. Add an arpeggio as well. There are these vocal ahs in the middle of Andrew's song that I thought was really nice, and I decided to use as some bass elements. The bass part just at minus 24 semitones. And this was the original one. And then I had another one with the same thing, just plus 12 semitones. You set the warp mode to beats, and you set the arrow drop down to the one like facing a wall. You can get it to sort of gate and chop by transients or by a bar number you set. So I have it going at 32, and this parameter here controls how much chopping occurs. This one is going through some of my buses, my return tracks. I have ROM going on for my big reverb track, soft tube reverb for my small one, baby come back as for my delay, a few different chorusy, phasey kind of plugins, some lo-fi-esque plugins from Baby Audio and some other companies as well, like Excellent RC20. And then Heat is a combined decapitator from Sound Toys and the Nanny plugin. You know the Nanny plugin, you know. I'm not getting more into that. This clip here is actually just the same piano sample that we were working with before, but I added some clip automation to it. I'm just automating the pitch wheel. This one's really interesting. This is like a soft synth that I sound designed, but yeah, we can use the audio itself as a wavetable for our synthesizer. Yeah, I just took one of the vocals and I dragged it into Vital, and it made a wavetable shape for me. I really like the original vocal, but I just wanted to do more with it and chop it up a bit more. What I did there is I'm actually just manually changing the pitch and then using that technique again of setting it to beats to chop at different transients. You can get a slightly different version of the melody.
Waiting for someone or something to take me away. Waiting for someone or something to take me away.
In addition to that, I also have a few plugins going on.
Waiting for someone or something to take me away. Waiting for someone or something to take me away.
I'm using Andrew's new plugin, Transit, because it just came out, and I wanted to just try it out and see how it is.
Waiting for someone or something. Waiting for someone or something.
Yeah, just that phrase, waited for someone to take me.
Waiting for someone or something to take me up.
And I put the whole thing into the sampler. I played these notes here from the melody, and I put them together just as a cluster chord as I was kind of pitching them up and down the octave like this. I really liked how that sounded, and so I decided to just pitch shift throughout the different octaves, and I thought that was like a really cool effect. I also have the chords playing the vocal sample as an instrument. I'm just using part of the A, part of the word way, and I have two different ones. I have one up an octave and one down an octave. And to give it that sort of warbly sort of texture, I added lo-fi pitch dropout, and that's really giving it that very lo-fi character. Basically, for this section, I really liked some of the textures that were in the track. Whale sounds. Yeah, this is weird. It's really cool. And I wanted to incorporate that in the track somehow without just straight up using it as is. This is actually a technique I picked up from Mr. Bill, where he has a bunch of sounds kind of going through an arpeggiator, and you're sort of just going through all the different notes. Except he does it in a drum rack, I believe. So I just took that sample, I set it into slice mode and chop it up as half notes. And then I had the arpeggiator setting it with the low gate so it gets each one quite short. I have a spectral resonator going on. Make it slightly more aggressive, more transient. LFO tool just to pulse by eighth notes, and some auto pan. I really like the rhythms and the groove that the bass in the original song had, and so I decided I wanted to incorporate it, but I used it as a riser instead. And so I'm just using the pitch parameter in the clip to kind of move it by different semitones. After I've done that, I added some effects for some transitional automation. I also have Endless Smile running here as well. There's also a arpeggiated synth part that again uses part of the vocal, but basically just kind of went up and down like this. You can play it messily and then clean it up. There's no need to get a perfect recording the first time. You can use your messy playing or your rough playing to get the contour and the shape of the melody that you want. Yeah, and so that sound was the synth lead that occurs in the song. Yeah, I love the sound of that synth, and so I decided I wanted to use it in my song just as a different sort of synth line, a little more arpeggiated, right? I really like this arpeggiated part in the original track. I just thought it was like the prettiest thing, and I wanted to use that in my track as well. I used the transient chopping to 32nd notes. Yeah, so now it's even more like a pop kind of played around with a bunch of different effects. I have some DS10 to shape the transients of those individual hits. I have spectral time to add some color to the sound as well. Yeah, to add even more bubbles in the back, right? And then I really had fun playing with the different parameters here. And so I have 3 different LFOs at different speeds, a very slow LFO, faster LFO, and a medium LFO. Yeah, and that's my breakdown. So I hope you really like my remix. If you like what you hear, you can follow me at resetRT. I also make like analog glitch video art, as well as lo-fi hip hop and future bass beats. Just for Andrew, thank you so much again for this opportunity. It was so much fun. As I was making my remix, I was thinking about how many techniques or tips and tricks I'm using. I actually just learned from an Andrew Huang video. I just want to say I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for everything you've done. I was at your 1 million subscriber party in Toronto meetup, and I just want to say how proud I am of you for making it where you are today. So thank you again. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone else's remix. Take care.